morning, and welcome to the 2025 Police Department Award Ceremony. Please stand for the presentation of colors. Thank you to our honor guard, sworn personnel. You can remove your hat. Please take a seat. I would like to call to the stage Reverend Robert Swanson, pastor of Bethany Lutheran Village and member of our Police and Clergy Together team for today's invocation.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. Department honorees and distinguished guests, I invite you to pray with me. Holy One of all faiths, Holy One of all names, Spirit of all generations, we thank you for being a vital presence in the lives of our officers, their families, those in other key support roles, and of course our community of Dayton. We are grateful for the focus and attention to detail each person we honor today has given and continue to give. We pray for all of our police women, policemen, from the chief to the newest of recruits. Of course, Holy One, we give thanks for those as they offer such courageous and steadfast support at home. Keep us all and our families safe as we work together for the common goals of justice, peace, and unity. And this we ask in the name of all that is holy and just. We offer these prayers and faithful service to you. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Swanson, for that invocation and for doing the important work with our PAC team. It is great to be together again at the Kroc Center. We want to thank the Kroc team, Stacy Kubera, the executive team, AV technician Pat Palma, and everyone who pitched in any way. You have been incredible and generous with your time and expertise in helping us execute this ceremony. I also like to thank our awards committee for the work as part of their ceremony. We would like to acknowledge quite a few of the dignitaries that are here today who made the time to be with us. Our City Manager, Shelley Dickstein, sitting in front, Deputy City Manager, Ms. Lofton, Mayor Mims, Commissioner Matt Joseph, looking at, make sure that I'm not missing anybody. I know we have former Assistant Chief and current Fairfield Town Chief Bob Chabali in the room. If I'm missing anybody, I'm trying to look at to make sure to see if everybody's here or not. I know we have quite a few department directors. I'd like to thank them also. I also recognize our brethren from the fire department. I know Assistant Chief Nick Hosford is here somewhere back there. Thank you for being here. To our command staff, I want to make sure that we introduce them. Sitting on the stage is Lieutenant Colonel Eric Henderson, Major Brian Johns, in charge of investigations, Major Chris Malson, everything to do with NATO, sorry. Major Paul Saunders on our admin side, Major Jimmy Mullins, our West Patrol, and Major Jason Hall. Thank you all for being here. At this time, I'd like to invite our City Manager, Shelley Dickstein, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Chief. And good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here and being a part of saluting all of the great work that our police officers have done throughout the year. I always appreciate this event because it really is spectacular to see some of the amazing, courageous, creative work that is done by the Dayton Police Department. But having been in the organization now for almost 30 years, I also appreciate even more the day-to-day work that our police officers do to make a difference in our community. When they put on that uniform and they go out to make a difference, making our community safer, engaging with our community, bringing resources to some of our folks who desperately need them but don't know how to get them, raising extra funding or clothing drives or you name it, it is absolutely amazing. And from that, I am so very grateful because I know and I have seen all of the amazing work and the lives you touch and the differences you make. I want to thank all the friends and family for being here because you are important support for the work that they do, and they couldn't do it without you. So thank you again, and congratulations to all of the awardees.
Thank you, City Manager Dickstein. I would like to invite Mayor Mims to the podium to say a few words.
Good morning. Let's try that one more time. You're almost loud enough. One more time. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Thank you so much. You know, the city manager said so much of what I was going to say. I'm not sure she read my notes. But what I will say, again, one of the chief responsibilities of a mayor is to keep his citizens safe. And that's very special, very near and dear to my heart. You know, more than 50 years ago, I put on the uniform, United States Air Force Special Forces Unit in Vietnam in 67, 68. And when you put that uniform on, when you take that oath, you say a lot just by doing that. You raise your hand, you promise to protect the rights and privileges and fight for those rights and privileges with regards to the Constitution for all the citizens in these United States. And I know many of our police officers are veterans themselves, and so they have a double special bond as far as protecting the lives, rights, and privileges of the citizens of Dayton. That's near and dear to my heart. And as I represent my fellow commissioners, Matt Joseph, who's here, Chris Shaw, Darrell Fairchild, Shanice Turner Sloss, I want to make sure you know just how much we work to keep you in a position so you can be your best selves. So you can go out and do your job, be safe in doing your job, and be able to go home at the end of the day and take care and be responsive to your family. Those things are basic for us. And when we see those who have received awards after awards after awards in terms of doing the type of work that they do as a normal part of their life, it makes it even more special. And when we have challenges, you're the ones that's running into the battle as opposed to away from the battle. And you're challenged to be able to take and keep the lives of others who are there fighting for their lives and sometimes in difficult, challenging situations. Again, those awards are most appreciated as far as the city is concerned. So again, family, friends, associates, and especially those awardees, I really, really appreciate and congratulate you for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Mims. Now I'd like to introduce this morning's MCs, two of our very talented local anchors. First, a longtime icon in the Dayton community from her work at WHIO. Please welcome Cheryl McHenry. And we're also excited to welcome the anchor from WDTN, Jack Pohl. This is first time hosting our event, so thank you. We truly do appreciate both of them for coming and taking the time out of their busy schedules, especially this early in the morning. As I've said many times, the police profession continues to be one of the noblest professions in our society today. What you're about to hear about the work of the men and women of our department is the epitome of our profession and the level of service that the Dayton Police Department is committed to providing and has provided long before my arrival in the city. Working and providing law enforcement services to our city is challenging based on the frequency of high-risk calls plus the staffing challenges that our region, state, and country is facing today. And for those that were working in the morning today, you know that we had a critical call that we responded to with the loss of life. That's why I think this, what we're about to do and recognize your work is so important because you bring the stability to our region and to our city that is needed and indeed expected from us. So thank you for that. Based on my observations of the work that is performed every day by the staff of the police department, professional staff and sworn staff, the men and women who put their lives at risk each other should be appreciated. For those watching, for those in attendance, and our media partners, please listen intently to what is being recognized today. Be proud of the work being done, highlight the work that is being done. We do right every day. We take pride in protecting the lives of our community members and recognize that the work that we do in our officers. As I've said, for that matter, recognize that kind of work that all of us do to improve the lives of our fellow human being. To our staff, I'm proud to be amongst you, proud of the work that you do and what you do with utmost professionalism. And most importantly, you understand that the work we do, there's a victim on the other end that we're trying to protect and trying to serve. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you all for being here, family and friends. At this point, I'm going to hand over to the professionals who can do this a whole lot better than I can. So Ms. McHenry and Mr. Pohl, podium is yours.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. Hi, Jack.
Hello there, Cheryl.
We are competitors, but we're also friends. Jack's a little newer to the news game, although he's done sports for a lot of years.
Yeah, 30 plus.
Yeah.
30 plus years in sports, and I moved over to the news anchor desk in late October of this year. Always had a great respect for police. Of course, I think most people do, but it wasn't until I took the news job where that respect went through the roof. What the people do in this room and the sacrifices they make on a daily basis, and now that I read these stories and get to know these officers and what they do on a day-to-day basis has truly been humbling, and boy, it really redefines hero in my mind.
Kind of makes sports take a back seat.
It certainly
doesn't
does.
And I have seen police work from two perspectives. Back in the 80s, I know I've been around 100 years, I covered the police beat, and I got to know many of you then, and I saw the work that you did, and that's when my admiration and respect grew, even though it took time for people to trust me as a young reporter. And then I married a police officer. Where are you, Bob? I lost you some. Oh, there you are. And so then I got to see it from the perspective of a spouse and see the passion and the dedication and that strong desire to protect and serve not just the citizens, but your fellow officers. And I think one of the things that I admire most is that you develop in law enforcement this camaraderie, this deep respect and appreciation for each other, because you have to have each other's backs all the time. And, you know, we have camaraderie in TV news, but more because we're an island of misfits. But you guys truly, all of you, you work so hard every day to do your best, to protect and serve. You go above and beyond the call of duty, and sometimes you take criticism that isn't deserved, but that's by people who don't understand what you do and who don't appreciate what you do and could never do what you do. So Jack and I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and some of my fondest memories that I will take with me through life is from the Dayton Police Department. Love you.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. I will say, It is a great honor to be able to do something like this with Cheryl, who I've admired for years. She is really just one of those diamonds in our business. And she said, yeah, we may be competitors, but we all know greatness when we see it. And this is a true honor, not just to be presenting these awards to you, but also to do so with Cheryl McHenry. So I really appreciate our friendship. Have we got to know each other? We even were at the Super Bowl together with the Bengals a few years ago. So we're a lot more friendlier than you think, or you may think. So good morning again, everybody. We are happy to be here at the award ceremony this morning to share the stories of the outstanding work that's being done by this police department, and we report on it every day, and we love it. While we have plenty of awards to give out, I'd like to remind everyone, when you hear your name or see your picture on the screens, you can come up to the stage, collect your award, and we ask that you stay on stage for either an individual or group photo. And with that, I say we start handing out some hardware. So first we begin with our citizen citations. Kelly Madzey is the chief of the Juvenile Division for the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office. She has demonstrated time and time again her resolute devotion to making this community a safe place. Mrs. Madzey is a strong advocate for victims of crime and works relentlessly to hold criminals accountable in the court of law. She has played an integral role in ensuring that violent offenders are sentenced to confinement to prevent further violence. Mrs. Madzey has worked on cases that are the first of their kind in Montgomery County, others where victims did not cooperate, which typically prevents cases from moving forward, and she volunteered for training, without which there is at least one complex case where she likely wouldn't have been able to articulate to the judge the offender posed. As a result, in the cases, the violent offenders are held accountable for their crimes. Mrs. Madzey stands out amongst her peers for her courage and work ethic. Her commitment to assisting the Dayton Police Department is impressive and unwavering. For that, she receives this citizen citation. Our next citizen citation goes to Thomas Strange, Angela Johnson, Joseph Bailey, and Daniel Boger. It is without a doubt, most of us remember the events of July 22nd, 2024. 9-year-old Annalie Escalante was out for a bike ride with her family when she was struck by a vehicle. She became stuck underneath and dragged for more than a half a mile before she became dislodged from the car, causing her life-altering injuries. The driver then continued for another 3 miles before stopping at a bar. When these 4 citizens saw this, they immediately jumped into action and followed this fleeing driver. Angela Johnson and Daniel Boger also called 911 to update the location of the fleeing vehicle. Daniel remained with Annalie at her location until police and medics arrived to administer critical first aid. Thomas Strange, Angela Johnson, and Joseph Bailey followed the driver and ensured that he would not leave the location until police arrived. The actions of these 4 directly led to the successful arrest of a dangerous drunk driver who forever changed the life of a 9-year-old girl and her family. Without these 4, there is a chance that that driver may have evaded capture and has been in jail since that very night. Thomas Strange, Angela Johnson, Joseph Bailey, and Daniel Boger, we thank you for your willingness to help and your quick and decisive actions. You truly are a testament to the people of the Miami Valley and their desire to come together in times of need. You are more than deserving of these citizen citations. Thank you. Our next award is from the City of Dayton Prosecutor's Office Victim Services Division. Amy Hargis, manager of the Victim Services Division, along with Andy Sexton, general counsel with the City of Dayton Law Department. They are joining us on stage to honor officers Casey Cantrell and Elizabeth Alley with a certificate of appreciation for outstanding service on behalf of crime victims. Now, this award recognizes officers who demonstrate excellence in helping those victimized by violent crime and acknowledges individuals who show compassion and understanding to crime victims while performing their professional duties. The 2 recipients this year have shown a continued commitment to victims in the community. This is highlighted by a case that happened in October of 2024. Officer Casey Cantrell and Officer Elizabeth Alley were dispatched to a domestic violence call that involved allegations of a physical assault and threatening behavior toward a victim, animal cruelty, and possible gunfire. Officer Cantrell and Alley were able to de-escalate the situation and obtain pertinent information in order to locate the suspect. Together, they did an outstanding job dealing with the victim, the injured dog, and the 6 children present during this incident. That compassion and concern on scene followed through to the court process. At that point, the victim no longer wanted to pursue charges, so the officers worked hand in hand with the prosecutor to make a victimless prosecution viable. They continued to try and help the victim by discussing their concerns for her safety and encouraging her to follow through with the resources given to her by victim's witness staff. They even took the extra step of notifying the offender's parole officer about the facts of the case, and he was subsequently revoked and sent back to prison. On behalf of the Victim Services Division, we would like to thank Officers Cantrell and Alley. They epitomized this award for their dedication and service to crime victims in the Dayton community. Up next, the Community Engagement Award salutes a new officer for their team building and problem-solving skills. This year we have 2 recipients. Out of the 114th recruit class is Officer Nicole Totel. As a requirement for probation, new officers have to complete a neighborhood portfolio exercise. For this project, Officer Totel selected a citywide issue, which was high number of unruly juvenile cases. In her research, she discovered that often juveniles don't have positive activities after school. Through her own fitness workout program, she discovered the Police Athletic League, a nationwide organization which once had a chapter right here in Dayton and offers a variety of athletic and non-athletic activities for today's youth. Officer Totel reached out to the City of Dayton's Parks and Recreation Centers, as well as the Recreation Youth Services, which offers activities other than sports, including art, aquatics, and special events. She is currently in the process of organizing after-school activities for police personnel and members in the community. In the future, she also plans to incorporate additional nonprofit organizations to expand options for local kids. Officer Totel, your willingness to go above and beyond in completing your NPE assignment is commendable. You found a social outlet, a need, and took ownership and created a solution for the community and your fellow officers. For your outstanding public service, the Dayton Police Department thanks you and presents this to you, the Community Engagement Award. Officer Christina Tremblay is the winner from the 115th recruit class. For her project, Officer Tremblay selected an ongoing issue at the Belmont branch of the Dayton-Montgomery County Library. She started by analyzing the data, noting the high number of calls for service involving disorderly juveniles hanging around after school and sometimes even fighting. She decided to organize a team of all involved parties to analyze and mitigate the situation. She connected with library personnel, Dayton Public Schools, and the City of Dayton Community Engagement Department. Through their meetings, they determined the food insecurity is the root of the cause of the problem, and they established a snack distribution program to reward good behavior. They found a local vendor who donated snacks for the cause. The library staff chose healthy snack options, determined the appropriate amount to have on location while considering the logistics of storage. As a result of this program, library staff noticed juveniles are better behaved in order to receive snacks and are even protective of library staff. Now, Officer Tremblay, your willingness to go above and beyond in completing your NPE assignment is commendable. You found a community need, took ownership, and created a solution for the neighborhood and your fellow officers. For your outstanding public service, the Dayton Police Department thanks you and presents you this Community Engagement Award.
Now we will begin handing out our department citations, which are given to those who, while performing their duties, display a high degree of competence and professionalism in handling a difficult task. For those who are part of large groups, your awards will be available for pickup in the back and near the doors where you will exit. First up is Meredith Weber. She is the Senior Business Manager at the Dayton Police Department and has provided exceptional leadership and contributions to the department's fiscal management. She played an instrumental role in the fiscal management of the department's reorganization. She ensured the department navigated these changes with strong financial oversight and efficiency. Meredith also has helped develop the fiscal personnel into a cohesive and a high-performing team. Additionally, She took leadership in the 2025 budget development and maximized available funding to support the department's objectives. Meredith was also vital to the process in providing input in preparation of payroll challenges related to changes in the collective bargaining agreement for officers. Congratulations, Meredith, on this department citation. Our next department citation goes to Detectives John Howard, Miston Bailey, Daniel Reynolds, and Gregory Orrick. In the summer of 2023, Detective Orrick began an investigation into a major drug trafficking organization that was directly responsible for at least 27 overdoses, some of which were fatal. Detectives Howard and Bailey began investigating the fatal overdoses, and they then coordinated the investigation that led to multiple search warrants. After the search warrants were served, Detective Reynolds began to assist in this investigation. Together, this investigation resulted in 5 individuals facing federal charges. This investigation removed a large amount of potentially dangerous drugs and weapons from the streets that likely would have caused further harm. Thank you for your hard work, Detectives Howard, Bailey, Reynolds, and Orrick. On January 17, 2024, Detective Brandon Veragee and Officer David Lane were working extra duty during a grand theft auto suppression operation. They attempted to stop a dark-colored Nissan Rogue that had fled from officers prior to the operation. The vehicle fled again. However, this time, Ohio State Highway Patrol's aviation unit was able to take over the pursuit. Once the vehicle stopped, 5 people fled from the vehicle. After a short foot pursuit, Detective Veragee and Officer Lane were able to detain the driver without incident and locate a firearm that was also in close proximity. Ultimately, 4 people were taken into custody and 2 firearms were recovered from this incident. While this was being investigated, it was determined that not only was there evidence of the vehicle being used in a drive-by shooting, but 2 of the suspects were also suspects in a murder that had occurred just 5 days prior. After extensive investigation, one of them confessed to the crime. Thanks to their keen eye for criminal behavior, as well as diligence and tenacity in performing their duties, both Detective Veragee and Officer Lane were essential in getting a murderer off the streets. Congratulations. On January 24, 2024, officers Greer Hefkin, Matthew Brown, and David Eck responded to Oxford Avenue while returning a missing juvenile call. When they arrived, they noticed several indicators of unsanitary living conditions. Upon further investigation, they located 4 children between the ages of 3 and 13 living with no access to food, running water, clean beds, or even blankets to sleep. Not only were the conditions deplorable, they found evidence that child abuse was also occurring. Based on everything discovered, the children were removed and placed with family members able to provide significantly better quality of life. While the officers could have simply returned the missing child and left, they investigated further and discovered conditions that may have otherwise gone undetected. Their commitment to serving their community is a testament to the Dayton Police Department. Congratulations. On March 3, 2024, Sergeant Brian Updike, along with several other officers, responded to a mental health situation on North Main Street. A man had a knife in each hand and was clearly in crisis. Officers and members of the hostage negotiation team responded to talk with the man. Sergeant Updike spent a significant amount of time trying to de-escalate the situation while talking to the man. The whole incident lasted approximately 90 minutes. Throughout this encounter, Sergeant Updike remained calm, taking control of the situation and connecting with the man in crisis. Sergeant Updike was able to convince the man to throw down the knives in exchange for some peanut butter crackers. The response to this incident resulted in no injuries and likely saved the life of not only the man with knives, but possibly that of an innocent person as well. Congratulations. Our next departmental citation goes to Officers Christopher Page and Eric Brown. On April 5th, 2024, they were dispatched on a welfare check at Westwood Elementary School. When they arrived, they learned that a 4-year-old male was walking around outside of the school. The child was brought inside by school staff, and while speaking to the child, the officers were able to get his name and the mother's name. However, searching databases, they were unable to find an address or any contact information. While Officers Page and Brown could have stopped there and just taken the child to Children's Services Bureau, instead they drove the area, hoping to locate where the child lives or a parent. With the assistance of the Regional Dispatch Center, a family member was located and the child was reunited successfully. The principal of the school wanted it known that Officers Page and Brown went out of their way to bring this incident to a positive conclusion. Congratulations. Our next department citation includes the largest group working on one of the most complex investigations of 2024. Please come on stage when you hear your name. You will be able to pick up your citation after the ceremony. Lieutenant Stephen Bauer, Detective Brandon Verigee, Officer Aaron Fraley, Officer Natalie Flory, Officer Stephen Klein, Detective Lindsay Delaney, Sergeant Derek Swagger, Detective Elizabeth Alley, Detective Gary Roser, Detective Steve Ettinger, Detective Robert Simison, Officer John Malott, Sergeant Justin Poe, Sergeant Jared King, Detective Melissa Boys, Detective Joshua Bowling, Sergeant Tyler Hofacker, Detective Brandon Carty, Detective Scott Floria, and Detective Zachary Farkas. On May 22, 2024, detectives received information that a stolen vehicle from Indiana was at 724 North Irwin Street. Due to the size, complexity, and possible danger indicators at the location, Dayton's SWAT team was requested to serve the warrant. After the expansive property was secured, detectives discovered a large-scale chop shop operation. Due to the sheer size, additional help was requested. Eventually, more than 20 confirmed stolen vehicles from multiple states were recovered, hundreds of verified stolen parts added to a total recovery in the millions of dollars. We will detail this investigation later, but we thank everyone for their assistance and work ethic in this unprecedented case. Congratulations to all of you.
On May 23, 2024, while on her way to a neighbor complaint, Officer Bailey Staniford was involved in a crash. An inattentive driver failed to yield to the right-of-way and turned directly into the path of Officer Staniford's cruiser. The crash resulted in disabling damages to both vehicles and injured Officer Staniford. Despite this, Officer Staniford checked on the condition of the other driver and even asked other officers to check on the other driver first before attending to her own medical needs. Officer Staniford's compassion, desire to serve the public, and dedication to her duties resulted in prompt scene security and medical treatment for the other driver and herself. In the latter part of June 2024, 3 of the 5 officers assigned to the Strategic Response Unit were temporarily assigned to support other divisions within the Dayton Police Department. Despite going down from 5 to 2, Officers Joshua Irwin and Kyle Harris maintained the high-level proactive enforcement expected of SRU. From July to early August, Officers Irwin and Harris recovered nearly 30 firearms. Due to their unrelenting work ethic during this time, they were able to continue to provide a high level of service in keeping the people of Dayton safe. Officer Jeremy Johnson and Christopher Bartley were on foot patrol in the Oregon District on September 15, 2024, when they heard multiple gunshots. Officers Johnson and Bartley ran toward the source of gunfire amid a bustling crowd without hesitation or concern for their personal safety. They were able to assess the area and render life-saving aid for the gunshot victim. Their exemplary conduct and leadership in the high-stress and potentially life-threatening situation reflect the highest standards of law enforcement. On October 2nd, 2024, officers Kyle Harris and Riley Brown located a known suspect driving a stolen vehicle. The suspect was upgraded to being pursuable 2 days earlier. The suspect was on a multi-county criminal spree, and despite being only 17 years old, is a well-known offender who is linked to more than a dozen car thefts and known to carry firearms. Upon seeing officers, the suspect immediately fled. The pursuit lasted more than 15 minutes, reaching speeds of more than 110 miles per hour. Thanks to their extensive knowledge of the streets, officers Harris and Brown were able to work in tandem during this pursuit. Officer Harris also has advanced training in dynamic vehicle operations. It's likely that many officers would not have been able to successfully pursue the suspect with this incident. Officers Harris and Brown willingly put themselves in harm's way, going in the opposite lane of travel on State Route 49 to warn oncoming drivers of the suspect's reckless driving in their direction. Their skill, teamwork, tactics, and bravery led to the successful arrest of a dangerous criminal. While conducting training on November 20th, 2024, officers Randy Betzinger, Michael Conrads, and Nathan Spielman saw smoke coming from a nearby location. Without regard for their own safety, the three officers quickly ran to that location to determine if someone was in need of immediate help. They saw heavy smoke coming from an apartment on Linwood Street. Officer Betzinger went to his cruiser to get fire extinguisher, while officers Conrad and Spielman ran to the apartment that had smoke billowing out of it. It was determined that no one was inside after they were able to force the door open. Without their keen observation skills and disregard for their own well-being, this incident had the propensity to end in tragedy. Detective Timothy Reiser has been instrumental in educating current and future officers on the best methods from crash investigation and speed detection. He constantly is looking for opportunities to learn and share knowledge about new technology as well. With current officers, Detective Reiser communicates both in person and through email on trends and common errors that the unit encounters during follow-up investigations. He is informative and tactful without being overbearing. He strives to help officers and sergeants better understand how errors can be avoided, reducing or eliminating further distress to citizens involved in traffic crashes. Additionally, he always takes on extra work and assumes the roles of other detectives when they are away from their office. He is responsible for turning out stellar investigations, which result in convictions and prison sentences for the most egregious violators of traffic law. Detective Reiser has become an irreplaceable member of the Traffic Service Unit. For all of his hard work and dedication, he is awarded with a department citation. Our final department citation is being awarded to Lieutenant Jacqueline M. Wally. Lieutenant M. Wally was the nighttime commander for the West District for most of 2024. She inspires the sergeants and officers to work together as a team and often took a negative situation and used it as a teaching moment, which resulted in an overall positive outcome. She has true open-door policy where anyone of any rank could come speak with her. All that she ever asked was, if there was a problem, come with a possible solution. Lieutenant M. Wally also ensures that the officers know how much they are appreciated and valued for their hard work each and every day. Lieutenant M. Wally, we thank you with this department citation.
Now we would like to present our awards for more stellar work within the department with unit citations. First up, the Bomb Squad, Sergeant Benjamin Wallakewicz, Detective Stephen Ettinger, Detective Brandon Carty, Officers Sarah Widener, Detective Bradley Meeker, and Major Jason Hall. Detective Lindsay Delaney, come on up as well. She's receiving a department citation for her work on April 4th with the Bomb Squad. That's when they responded with the FBI and Joint Terrorism Task Force during simultaneous search warrants in Dayton and Troy. Evidence, including potential explosive devices, were rendered safe, and the suspect was interviewed and subsequently arrested as part of the FBI's investigation. And in September, the 2024 presidential election campaign brought national attention to Springfield. This resulted in a surge of suspicious activity in the city and an increase in calls for service for that area. As part of the mutual aid requests, the Dayton Police Bomb Squad responded to numerous threats in that area over the course of a week. These are two examples of some of the extensive work and long hours required of those in this unit, and we appreciate your hard work and recognize it with these citations. Congratulations. Our next unit citation goes to the members of the K-9 unit: Sergeant Theodore Troop, Officer Nathan Spielman, Officer Randy Betzinger, Officer Corey Cagle, Detective Ross Nagy, Officer Sean Gallagher, Detective Jeremy Stewart, Officer Jamie Lukoski, and Officer Michael Conrads. In 2024, the unit was deployed more than 600 times. They made hundreds of arrests and seized more than 30 pounds of methamphetamine, 8 pounds of marijuana, 8 kilograms of fentanyl, along with 30 firearms. The explosive detection teams did a significant number of prevention sweeps and assisted local, state, and federal agencies, including the U.S. Secret Service. The K-9 unit also takes part in numerous community outreach events, including demonstrations at schools, public safety fairs, along with other community activities. Each member invests considerable time and effort into ensuring they refine their skills and train regularly in real-life scenarios. Congratulations on your unit citation. Our next unit citation is being awarded to members of the Teletype unit: Mrs. Karen Lachey, Mrs. Joy Harrison, Mrs. Lauren Edwards, Ms. Alessandra Skidmore, Ms. Janita Vines, Ms. Denise Hockey, and Ms. Latasha Cobbins. The members of this unit display the utmost professionalism when officers are in need of their assistance. They all multitask at a high level. Often, officers or detectives who are on the phone with them can hear them helping other crews over the radio as well. They are well organized and can locate needed files upon request. They are instrumental in the operation of the Public Records Unit, and their work ethic does not go unnoticed. Officers are thankful for their work, and for that, we award them with this unit citation. We applaud you all with this unit citation. Congratulations.
All right, we're going to move on now to our award of merits, which are conferred by the chief to those who have displayed initiative, rendered exceptional service, and brought great credit to the Dayton Police Department. Our first award of merit goes to Officer Andrew Lane. On March 30th, 2024, he was driving his personal vehicle on US 35 West when he was suddenly and violently struck from the rear by a large SUV traveling at a high rate of speed. The impact caused the vehicle to temporarily lose control. However, he was able to recover and keep his vehicle on the road. The SUV careened out of control and barrel rolled before landing back on its wheels and accelerating away down the highway. Since it was fleeing the scene of an accident, Officer Lane elected to follow the vehicle to better identify it and the driver. The vehicle continued to drive recklessly, almost striking another vehicle and again losing control and driving over the median. Officer Lane found the vehicle parked in the middle of Bance Court and Rott Street. He observed a man quickly exit the driver's seat and was trying to pull a female from the front passenger seat. As all of this unfolded, Officer Lane identified himself as police, pulled his service weapon, and told the man to stop. The man ignored this, dropped the female, and ran away. Officer Lane caught up to him and was able to keep him at the scene until officers arrived. The man faced charges of hit and run, obstructing official business, resisting arrest, as well as a warrant from another jurisdiction for fleeing and eluding. Officer Lane's ability to remain focused after the impact of the crash and his duty resulted in the apprehension of a very dangerous driver and a wanted criminal. The Bomb Squad received a unit citation for their work this past year, but Detective Bradley Meeker put a significant amount of work regarding the incident on April 4th that also included responding on April 5th. Detective Meeker was the primary case agent for the investigation. The suspect involved was found to be making homemade explosives and improvised explosive devices. Detective Meeker gathered evidence, performed research, and coordinated with several different agencies and subject matter experts in preparation of these search warrants being served. He assisted in processing the scene and was instrumental all in identifying potential items of significance, utilizing X-ray equipment to diagnose possible hazardous devices, and helping to meticulously collect and catalog potential evidence. Multiple special agents with the FBI specifically praised Detective Meeker's quality of investigative work and dedication. Thanks to his determination, a suspect who posed a threat to public safety was arrested and subsequently charged in court. Congratulations. As mentioned earlier, on May 22nd, detectives began an investigation into a large-scale chop shop. Detectives Michael Fuller, Nathan Curley, Jacob Rillo, and Curry Meyer II did a significant amount of investigation following the discovery of this warehouse. This investigation also led to the discovery of another chop shop in Alabama. The investigation spanned approximately 8 months and resulted in the discovery of a criminal network that spanned across much of the country and even into Canada. It resulted in charges being filed against 7 suspects who showed a wanton disregard for the law. It was clear they were going to continue to steal millions of dollars worth of vehicles and are directly responsible for a significant portion of the increase in stolen vehicles in Dayton and the surrounding areas. As these detectives continue their investigation, there are new connections being made with other agencies in Southwest Ohio. While much of this theft revolved around higher-end vehicles, they still stole vehicles of a wide variety of makes and models. Thanks to the work of these detectives, this unprecedented case will likely result in the criminals being taken off the street for a significant amount of time and provided even more intelligence for further investigations. On June 24th, officers Brian Sack, Jared Burson, and Tyler Stone responded to the 1500 block of Home Avenue on a report of multiple people shot. They located a male and female on the ground unresponsive. The officers immediately rendered aid by giving CPR to the female. As other officers arrived, Officers Sack, Burson, and Stone were able to rotate back and forth, giving CPR to both victims for more than 9 minutes until medics were able to attend to both victims. The male victim was removed to the hospital in critical condition, and tragically, the female passed away while on scene. The medics were there rendering aid. After providing first aid, all 3 officers immediately switched roles to start to secure the large, chaotic crime scene. Officers Sack, Burson, and Stone's professionalism, courage, and sound decision-making skills, a person's life was saved. They are a great credit to themselves and the Dayton Police Department. Congratulations. On July 16, 2024, Officer James Harden responded to 2600 Ridge Avenue to assist Metro Parks and the Dayton Fire Department with a suicidal subject. A man climbed nearly 80 feet into a tree and made numerous statements about attempting to kill himself. Without hesitation, Officer Harden was equipped with a harness and safety equipment to climb the ladder on the Dayton fire engine, getting close enough to talk with the man. He was erratic and appeared to be hallucinating. Officer Harden spent 2.5 hours developing a rapport with the man, eventually convincing him to climb down to the ground. The man appeared exhausted and nearly slipped multiple times while he was still in the tree. Officer Harden provided encouragement and motivation for the man to climb down the tree safely. The man eventually got to the point where he screamed back that now he wanted to live. He got to the ground safely, where he was treated and then transported to an area hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. Officer Harden's training, poise, and bravery led to a successful conclusion in a possibly life-threatening event. Officer Harden's hard work is certainly deserving of this award. On December 16, 2024, Officer Sean Gallagher located a vehicle that was suspected to be used in a string of aggravated robberies. Officer Gallagher conducted a traffic stop, and Officer Riley Brown responded to back him up. They were both saturating the area where the vehicle had just alerted on the flock camera system. Upon approaching the passenger side of the vehicle, Officer Gallagher immediately noticed the clothing, including gloves and mask worn by the suspect in a series of robberies. Officer Brown and Officer Gallagher worked together to collect the evidence, including the firearm that was used during these armed robberies. Together, they were able to safely get a violent offender off the street before he could commit another aggravated robbery. Congratulations. On December 20th, Officer Christopher May was responding with his training officer to a call out after a United States Deputy Marshal had been shot while attempting to apprehend an armed and dangerous wanted fugitive. Upon arrival, they took a position in the inner perimeter at the front of the building. As the standoff progressed, the suspect intentionally set a fire inside the apartment. This fire quickly grew out of control and posed a substantial risk to citizens in the area, as well as officers attempting to apprehend the suspect. Fire crews established a hose line, which was brought to the front of the residence to extinguish that blaze. As smoke billowed out of the apartment, Officer May notified SWAT officers that he had experienced as a firefighter. From a difficult position, he took control of the fire hose and skillfully put out the fire through a second-story window. This all happened just 63 days after graduating from the Dayton Police Academy. Officer May's ability to step up and take charge of a difficult task during a high-stress critical incident was extraordinary. Congratulations.
Now we have a trio of exemplary leadership awards to share. This award is conferred by the Chief upon members who have displayed dedication to duty and service, a visionary approach to operational excellence, and leadership in law enforcement, consistent with the mission and core values of the Dayton Police Department. Officer Michael Turrell spearheaded the Neighborhood Problem-Solving Initiative for the Central Business District. Officer Turrell demonstrated exemplary leadership, dedication, and organizational skills by assembling a team, coordinating with community leaders and stakeholders to ensure the project was done to the highest quality. The creative and professional presentation he delivered to the chain of command reflected his meticulous planning, communication skills, and dedication to excellence. This was a multidisciplinary project that took countless hours of work and personal sacrifices to ensure its successful completion. Officer Turrell's efforts have brought a great credit to himself and the Dayton Police Department. Congratulations. Our next exemplary leadership award goes to Lieutenant Randy Bean. On January 26, 2024, a prisoner escaped from custody in the hospital. Numerous Dayton police officers responded to a request for help from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Randy Bean took command of the scene. He coordinated a unified strategic response and reassured crews of the task at hand. It was a chaotic scene, but Lieutenant Bean's leadership, compassion, and poise helped control the situation and ensure there were no innocent bystanders in harm's way. Congratulations. Earlier, we told you about the apprehension of 2 men involved in a string of armed robberies that occurred not only in Dayton, but numerous surrounding counties. This arrest would not have been possible without the tireless work of Officer Michael Conrads. Officer Conrads diligently worked trying to find suspect information related to this crime pattern. Officer Conrads spent countless hours utilizing some of the advanced policing tools equipped to the Dayton Police Department. He was able to determine that a single vehicle appeared in the immediate vicinity of these armed robberies. If Officer Conrads had not dedicated his time, energy, and knowledge to eventually crack this case, it is unclear how long these 2 criminals could have continued to victimize businesses throughout the Miami Valley. Officer Conrad's work undoubtedly prevented further violent crimes. In fact, when Officer Gallagher and Brown apprehended the suspects, it's likely they would have committed another crime that night. Officer Conrad's, this case showcased your dedication to public service, your professionalism, and your willingness to lead to help the Dayton Police Department and this city. Congratulations. We now move on to the Distinguished Service Awards. This award is conferred by the Chief upon a member for demonstrating extraordinary heroism or for acting in an exemplary manner under substantial risk of personal harm and beyond the call of duty. This is another incident that was recently discussed. A prisoner violently assaulted a Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy and stole their duty weapon. Trying to avoid capture, the prisoner attempted to break into one occupied residence before successfully breaking into 130 Squirrel Road. After hearing a gunshot, officers immediately made entry into the house, which was required to preserve life and apprehend an armed and dangerous felon. Officers Christopher Bartley, Jason Bryant, Vincent Carter, Michael Conrads, Bryant Espino, Wayne Hammock Jr., Jacob Savage, Matthew Kennard, Floridan Uriker Jr., along with Sergeants Andrew Zucchini, Terry Bartlett, and Philip Watts, all acted swiftly. Not knowing what awaited them when they made the decision to enter the home on Squirrel Road, their compassion, desire to serve the public, and dedication to their duties ensured that there was no further harm to the public for anyone who may have been inside or outside of the home. Their willingness to put themselves into harm's way and face the unknown has earned them these Distinguished Service Awards. Congratulations to all of you.
All right, now we have a special award we would like to recognize, Billy Eshelman. Now, it is truly an honor and pleasure to celebrate an extraordinary milestone, 50 years of dedicated service from Billy Eshelman as a neighborhood assistant officer for the city of Dayton. Neighborhood assistant officers routinely assist our police department with traffic control, vehicle accidents, water main breaks, natural disaster, fires, and other nonviolent emergencies where extra trained personnel are needed. NAOs also assist with community events, parades, OVI checkpoints, and many other projects where their invaluable help is also requested. For 5 decades, Billy has donated more than 45,000 hours of time serving the citizens of Dayton. Billy has assisted with more than 10,000 traffic accidents and highway emergencies where traffic control assistance was requested. He's worked more than 150 OVI checkpoints. Billy has also worked numerous community events, holiday parades, and quite frankly, an incalculable number of calls where help was needed. Billy received the Presidential Lifetime Volunteer Achievement Award. This award, given by the President of the United States, honors individuals whose service positively impacts communities in every corner of the nation and inspires those around them to take action as well. On behalf of the City of Dayton and the Dayton Police Department and the citizens of Dayton, we want to thank you for your amazing efforts, dedication, and the incredible difference you have made to the Dayton community. Congratulations on 50 years of volunteer service. And congratulations to all of the award winners so far. Of course, you all did amazing work. We are going to give the podium back to DPD's majors to announce a new award given by the division commanders. We begin with Major Brian Johns, who oversees the investigations division.
Wow, 50 years is kind of hard to beat, but we'll give it a shot here anyway. The Division Commanders Award is conferred by each of the division commanders to members who have displayed outstanding service to their division by going above and beyond expectations, demonstrating extraordinary effort and perseverance. The Commander's Award winner for the Investigations Division is Detective Jason Barnes. In the fall of 2019, Dayton Police Detective Jason Barnes began an investigation into an organization that was distributing fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine in the city of Dayton. On the evening of November 4th, Dayton Police Detective and DEA Task Force Officer George Del Rio was shot while serving a search warrant as part of this ongoing criminal investigation. A short 3 days later, George succumbed to his injuries, passing away surrounded by loving family and friends. From this tragedy, thanks to the hard work by Jason Barnes and other federal partners, Operation Never Forget was born. The goal of Operation Never Forget was not just to hold accountable those responsible for the murder of George Del Rio, but each and every individual involved in the criminal enterprise that in any way played a role in George's death, no matter how big nor how small. The investigation began in Dayton, Ohio, but quickly expanded to North Carolina, Oklahoma, Washington, Los Angeles, California, and finally to Mexico City, ironically the birthplace of George Del Rio. Thanks to the great work by Detective Barnes, Operation Never Forget concluded in 2024. The 3 primary suspects responsible for the murder of George Del Rio were convicted and sentenced. Additionally, 27 other individuals with ties to this organization were arrested and indicted, to include a high-ranking Sinaloa cartel member from actually Mexico. Operation Never Forget also yielded the extraordinary seizure of 154 kilograms of cocaine, 57 kilograms of fentanyl,